Hey guys, what's good? We're gonna be talking about like how to reduce tightness today, or like how to get more flexible, pretty much. Been getting a lot of questions like, yo, bro, like my hips are tight, my lower back is not tight, or whatever. I wake up, it's really stiff, or my traps are tight, hamstrings are tight. You know what I'm saying? But we just want to kind of clarify some things about like why is a certain area tight. It might be like a bunch of different reasons, and the solution may not always be just stretching, right? And also, we're gonna make sure like this is just a simplified version, so like everyone is different, right? It's really individual basis of what's being tight or what's not feeling right. So there's no quick fix, there's no shortcut, right? So we're just gonna be trying to give you a guideline of how you can help yourself, and then dig deeper into it, research yourself, learn more. Just be curious, and then get a better understanding of your situation so you can actually improve it, right? Or reach out to people. You can always reach out to us. We'll do some research if you need to, or help you out, right? So we're gonna keep it as simple as possible, though. Still, don't worry.
We're gonna try it.
Yeah. So the first thing is like, let's try to get an understanding of what is tightness, right? Like, what is tightness, and like, for example, say like I get up, my hips feel tight. Like before squatting, my hips feel tight, or like my lower back feels stiff. Like, what could be the possible reasons for that?
So the simplest answer is just like being in one position for an extended period of time, right? So like the people that work desk jobs are infamous for this. Like they'll have like their tight hip flexors, they'll have a tight like upper back, neck area, right? And it's usually just being stuck in one position for a long period of time. That's usually what causes it. Injury can also cause it. If you get injured, then you're compensating with other parts of your body, and as a result, like another part, like if you injure your one leg, the other leg is going to be bearing most of the weight. So that leg is the muscles in that leg are going to be tighter. So there's again a bunch of different reasons why like a muscle can be tight. There's also like pathological reasons, so like disease states and stuff that can cause it.
Okay.
But most of the time, being stuck in front of a computer, in front of a TV, in front of a phone for too long is usually the cause. I mean, that's like one part of it, but when you start digging deeper, then we're starting to look at like how different muscles work, and how the inhibition or lowered activation of one muscle is leading to the tightness of that muscle actually. So we'll try to get into that. But yeah, usually it's just being stuck in a position for an extended period of time.
Okay. Yeah. So like, yeah, even just on that note, you know how I said one body part might be underactive, one might be overactive, leading to tightness in certain areas.
Yeah.
So let's give an example of that, right? Say like, for example, I say, yo, bro, like my lower back feels really tight.
Mm-hmm.
What could be the possible muscle or some muscles that might be underactive, and some might be overactive?
Yeah.
Then And so, what does underactive, overactive mean?
So
actually,
so basically, like when we're talking under and overactive, overactive is just like how your body is trying to maintain that position, right? So if we're in a seated position, the brunt of the tension in our lower back is usually taken on by the quadratus lumborum. These are muscles that like us being us being like muscle guy, or like people that love like fitness and stuff, we have no idea these muscles exist. But this is a thick muscle in our lower back. So
QL.
The QL, exactly.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it stood for. But
yeah.
Okay.
So those are the muscles that usually get tight, or the erectors can also get tight due to sitting for long periods of time, right? So that the overactivity of the QL and the erectors will lead to like low back tightness.
Well, they're overactive because we're constantly using them, like contracting them because we're sitting all day, that kind of thing.
Exactly. So there's constant tension on them, right? Like we're sitting on our butt for a long period of time, and as a result,
that makes a lot of sense.
There's a lot of tension on them, a lot of tension in that area, and as a result, we get tightness. There's also another way of thinking about it, right? Like low back tightness due to sitting for long periods of time.
Yeah.
So when we think about the hip flexors, right?
Yeah.
So there's like a bunch of different hip flexors. I'm not gonna get into all of them, but one of the big ones is the psoas,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
The psoas major. So the psoas attaches from like the thigh bone, like up here, and it actually attaches to the lower back. So the bones of the lumbar spine. It actually
all the way up.
exactly. So it's gonna come out from here, and it's gonna come up, and it's gonna attach to the bones of your spine and the low back, right?
Okay.
So when we think about, why is my low back tight? Why is my hip flexor tight? A lot of the time, it's because our lower back is unstable. Like, so it's actually a lack of stability. So when the lumbar spine isn't stable or lacks stability, the psoas is trying to make up for that stability by contracting, by getting tighter. Right?
Shit. Okay.
So it's almost like, which one comes first? Is it the low back tightness, or is it like the hip flexor tightness that comes first, right?
Okay.
So it's like that's why, again, there's no easy fix. It's a lot more complicated than we make it out to be.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So in that case, like, let's go with that example for sure, right? Like,
Yeah.
So you're saying the area that is unstable.
Mhm.
How would you make it more stable?
So core.
So that core
Yeah.
is the thing that's unstable usually.
So the lumbar spine is what's stable. And
Unstable.
Unstable,
Okay.
and
And lumbar spine is like the lower.
the lower
back,
spine, right?
Okay.
The lower back.
lower portion of the back. Okay.
Exactly. So
Lower spine.
in order to improve that stability, we gotta work on core stability,
Okay,
right?
okay.
And that's huge. So again, there's muscles, like we talk about the abs, right? There's muscles deeper than the abs that function to stabilize our core. And those muscles are the things that we need to work on in order to actually get rid of like the stiffness. We can always relieve it and alleviate it by stretching. We'll feel better for a little bit, right?
The short-term relief.
Exactly.
Okay.
Short-term relief versus actually getting rid of it are two different things.
So
And
if you do both, is that the best?
yeah, sure. But I feel like a lot of people already do stretching and
Okay,
stuff.
Okay.
But what they miss out on
It's not
is
stabilization.
exactly
Okay.
how do we get rid of the thing, and
Okay.
that's what a lot of people miss out on. And it's not just like regular people that go to the gym too that miss out on it. A lot of like professional like chiros, physios, they miss out on it too, right? And that's one of the problems that we have in our profession. Not gonna go down that road
Yeah.
today.
Okay. So let's just stick with low back pain.
Yeah.
Because the video is gonna be too long if you go any other.
Yeah,
Right.
It's
So
gonna be too much.
So stabilizing just your core, for example.
Mhm.
So you do things like planks or
Yeah.
hollow body holds or something like
Exactly. So planks are amazing,
that. Okay.
but you gotta know how to do them.
Okay.
And that's the issue, right?
Okay.
So if you're doing a plank and your lower back is sinking,
Yeah.
your shoulder blades are sticking out of your back, like you're not getting anything from
So
it.
you gotta protract your
You-
shoulders.
yeah, you gotta protract your shoulders. You gotta maintain a neutral lumbar spine, lower back. And
Yeah.
now someone has to teach you how to get to that
Yeah.
spot, right?
Yeah, for
So
sure.
you need someone to show you, oh, this is where you're actually neutral, right? This is
Okay.
what you gotta maintain. So
Okay.
planks are great. There's also 3 exercises that are like, they've been heavily researched and they've been shown to improve low back pain.
For
And
sure.
those are the McGill Big 3.
Shit. Wanna show them?
Sure, we can give it a go.
Yeah, a little bit.
Alright,
let's go.
Alright, so there's the McGill Big 3, right? The first one is the McGill Curl Up. So it's basically, you're on your back like this. And the key here is to like make sure your lower back is in a neutral position. So the way I usually tell people is to try to push your lower back into the ground. So if you look here, I can stick my hand through underneath my lower back. So I'm gonna try to get rid of this space, right? So I'm gonna come down and push into it. Now I can't get in, right? So you wanna maintain this position, one leg bent, one leg straight, and all you're doing here, maintain this position of the low back, is this, right? And then again, you come down, you maintain this, and you come up.
So you just tuck your chin in, pretty much?
You're basically trying to lift your shoulder blades up.
So you're crunching a little bit?
Yeah, it's almost like a crunch, but you're not coming like this. You're not
Okay.
flexing at the low back.
Okay.
So you're pushing down into the floor. There's no space here to go down, to go underneath, and
Okay.
you're coming up,
Okay.
right? And so you would do, the protocol for all of these exercises is 8 repetitions,
Okay.
and you hold each rep for 8 seconds. So
Okay.
that's what McGill recommends. So that's number 1. So number 2, we're looking at the side plank. So again, you go on your side like this. You can go like this if it's easier. You can bend the knees, or you can keep them straight if you can maintain it. Again, try to make sure you can almost flatten your lower back against something. So you gotta pretend like you have a board against your back, and you gotta push your lower back into it. So we're here, and then we're gonna come up like this. All right, oh shit, there's my keys. And you're gonna come up and come down. Again, 8 seconds, and then you go again. Right, hold it for 8 seconds. Right, and then you come down. And again, the key here is make sure that your lower back, pretend like it's against a wall and you're pushing into that wall.
Okay.
So the last one, the bird dog. So you get into like a quadruped
Oh, shit.
position,
Okay.
right? So you're here. So again, you don't want your lower back to sink like this. You don't want it all the way up. You want it in a neutral position. So the best way to do this is to go into both like extremes and then find the middle ground, right?
Okay.
So this would be one extreme, right? Like a Cardi B twerk kind of a
Wop.
thing, right? Exactly.
Let me
And
put
then the
wop
other
on.
way, we're going all the way up like this.
Okay.
So I want to find that middle ground in between. Hold that right there,
Okay.
right? Fuck, I might need to move forward a little bit.
Yeah,
Sorry.
go ahead, go ahead.
Now move forward right here, okay? So again, find that middle ground, hold it, and then we're going like this.
Oh, it's a bird dog, eh?
And then again, 8 seconds, we're holding this. And then we will switch to the other side. This exercise is a little tough, right? So like we discussed earlier, you don't want your shoulder blades sticking out, so you need some shoulder stability as well. You want to keep your neck in a neutral position as well. So tuck your chin in slightly a little bit. But yeah, if you guys have any more questions about these specific exercises, you can let us know and we'll walk you through them.
Okay, guys. So I hope that those 3 movements, they're called the
McGill Big 3.
McGill Big 3.
Yeah.
To just stabilize your back, right? So that's one way of helping your lower back, stabilizing your core, to hopefully reduce some of the tightness. Another way might be that you might have weak glutes. So how could you possibly like strengthen your glutes?
So the biggest thing for this is like for all the bodybuilding guys out there, having a mind muscle connection, being
Yeah.
able to connect, actually feel the glute work is huge. Whether it's like we were just talking earlier, like a split squat or even step ups. Even if you're just walking outside, by being able to connect, being able to feel the glutes engage, that's the biggest thing, right? And then once you develop that pattern, once you develop that connection with the muscle, then you can start implementing it in your everyday life, right? Like picking something off of the floor, going up the stairs. Then it's like, okay, I gotta feel this in my glute. So those are the key things. Just being able to make that connection, feel the glute work, right?
Is like twerking count?
Twerking counts.
Twerking counts. So like yeah, I know a lot of you guys. No, I didn't. I don't know. Okay, but
I don't know. I don't know what the research is behind twerking. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
sorry. We'll get back to it. We'll make another video on that. But yeah, so basically the main idea that we wanted to get across in this video was just like, yo, if something feels tight, something feels stiff, it's not always just about stretching.
Yeah.
Although stretching might cause like some relief, foam rolling might cause some relief, lacrosse ball, whatever, massages and stuff. But there's a bigger picture, right? There's like something that might be unstable. Like in this case we mentioned that your lumbar
Spine, yeah.
was unstable, right? Which could be stabilized in one way by the McGill Big 3, right? So always look at the big picture. There's 2 sides to everything. One part may need to be stretched actually because it's overactive, and one part may need to be strengthened or stabilized,
Yeah.
right? Like in this case. So look at the both sides. It's not always one thing. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, man. Like when we're talking about like stiffness and tightness, they're stretching has a role in it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't stretch at all. It has a role, but in my opinion, like if you can become stronger, if you can make, like if we're talking low back, if we can get a stable core or a stable lumbar spine and engage the glutes, you're good. You won't feel that stiffness as much. Like you're not gonna, like if you're lifting weights, you're gonna have some stiffness, right?
Yeah.
But you'll be able to minimize it if you can have those two core things, right?
Yeah.
So it's not always about stretching. Stretching does play a role.
Yeah.
However, the bigger issue here is people miss the whole strengthening and stability part of it. Right?
Yeah. Okay, so guys, hope this video kind of helped. It's more, we tried keeping it as simple as possible. I think it was pretty simple. It was.
I think it was.
Yeah.
If you guys have any questions, you can let us know.
let us know, and
Yeah.
we'll be back with some more topics, I think. Oh, we didn't introduce Bunty. Okay.
He's a little stiff today too.
He's a little stiff, yeah. Oh, we should have done the McGill Big 3 on him.